Hey, my wonderful people, a pleasant afternoon to you. All right, beauties. I know some people are happy, some people are sad, especially with the recent election that took place. I guess maybe they're just basically on the final deliberations, but obviously the relevant authorities and powers have called it. So, former President Donald Trump has copped the prize and is basically the president. He would be considered president-elect until next year, January, in the first week there, maybe January 6, 7, thereabout, when he's inaugurated and officially becomes the 47th president. So he was the 45th, and now the 47th president of the United States of America. But what I want to talk about, what I want to zone in specifically, beautiful people, I've heard people saying this, that some people are shocked. I am not. I actually said that he was going to win. I really wasn't. I don't know why. I think people got carried away by some of the mainstream media and the poster girl. Let me call it that way, and I say this with all due respect, to Miss Kamala Harris. When I say poster girl, meaning, Joe Biden had indicated a few months ago or a year or thereabout ago that he would not run again for office and the incumbent would be Kamala Harris, So I really and truly suspected, let me put it that way, had a strong feeling. I really believed the outcome would have been what it is. What was surprising to me, though, I didn't know it would have been a clean sweep in terms of, I don't remember how they do it, where they talk about the electorate or the electoral, the presidential, and another area. I think they have 3 or 4 areas. It's like a quadrant, if it's 4 or 3 areas, and he basically won all, as far as I'm told, and I said, wow, that part is a little bit surprising. I figured it would have been not exactly neck and neck, but it would have been like a win where you said, okay, it's a win, it's a win. You can't take that from him. It's a win, but the win it's almost like a landslide if it isn't a landslide, I haven't checked the final results. Every now and again, I'll go and check the poll and I'm saying, wow. I remember this morning after 5, after 6, when I looked at the red across zones, across states, across regions or jurisdictions, I'm like, oh my goodness, wow. So it tells a story, my people. You can't just follow what you're hearing on media, because sometimes media, a specific media may be aligned to a specific party or government or whatever you want to call it. And that may not be the true representation of what is there. Secondly, it tells a story that people they're diplomatic. I don't want to say hypocritical, meaning they know how people are. People can't readily, and I use the word can't loosely, get up and say, oh, I'm in support of Donald Trump, because people are going to start attack them. So they said, okay, they can't speak it. They'll just show it through their votes. Because you don't want to say, oh, you're associated with a man who is considered, you list all the different things that he has been accused of. That none of us, especially most people, well, most Jamaicans, I can say, let me say safely for Jamaicans, don't know. Most Jamaicans have not met the man in person, so they can only go by what they have been told. What they have heard, they don't know if it is true or false. Some run with it as though they can prove it themselves that it is true. That's how people are. And I have a problem with that formula, because it therefore means if somebody comes and they convince you that I'm white, believe me, to you I'm white. That is why I've often said, in the minds of many, perception can be greater than reality. And if you believe something to be so, it is very difficult to get that out of your mind. And it's like it kills some ego in you when you realize, I have been wrong. It burns you, it irks you, it hurts you too, to say, all this time I believed this about somebody and it really and truly was not so. And that's how the cookie crumbles. So when he won the way how he won, I said, wow. I didn't know it would have been that big of a win. It's like you can't even say it is rigged. You can't say it's a clear-cut win. Clear as day. It's like seeing Usain Bolt in his heyday on the track. There is no, I'm wondering, is him win or no? It's him win. Him donkey lens the people Him donkey lens them, meaning there's a gap, so you can see the clear win when we say the donkey lens. So my beautiful people, it only tells a story how not everything that people promulgate on the media, it is true within their hearts, within their minds, within their souls. They only do it because they don't want the backlash. They don't want the pressure. They can't comfortably get up and say, I support Donald Trump. Very few may do it. Very few may do it. But the majority, they can't. If they do it, I mean, the backlash that comes to them, people look down on them, may ostracize them, reject them, blackball them, gaslight them, treat them with disdain. I mean, we live in a world that God himself has given us volition to choose even against him. And we want to take away volition from people. It is something that I don't like. So people, they can't, because of that, they don't express. Even here in Jamaica, for example, you have the two major political parties. And people, let me tell you, we have our personal preferences. Even with the two, you'll hear Jamaicans say, we don't like the two parties. But you might say, if I had to choose, I firmly believe in choosing the one where the MP works. I believe in being fair. You bring it down using the laws of induction and deduction. So we look at the criteria, we look at the skills and the talents and the expertise and the knowledge. Look who works. And I think it is fair. I believe in fairness and justice. So I try to practice that. But outside of that, you may have an inclination to one side, political side. If you had to vote, you said, the reason I'd lean this way, because I like the MP or I like the policies here. Although they're the same, they tweak. I still feel a little bit more comfortable. We still have our little personal preferences. People choose not to say it because it's like how dare you feel, how dare you support, the Jamaica Labour Party, or how dare you support the People's National Party, for example, using the two major political parties as examples. It's like, how dare you? And God, if God has given us volition to even choose against him, how dare you take away that from people? People should be comfortable. You do have people like that, the diehards and so on. But the average person, if they ever try that just arbitrarily like that, people will send their heads to the gallows. So what people do, all right, I'm glad that the votes are personal. You mail them in for the American ones, or you go in and you vote like how we do it here in Jamaica. Maybe you tick a box or you what have you, and the paper is folded up. And then the relevant bodies, when they check it, they see who you vote for. And people who probably look as if they were supporting one side is really the other side in their hearts. That happens. Because people, when we seem to want to take away liberty, freedom and democracy from people are afraid to be themselves. They're afraid to say, okay, I really support Donald Trump. I really support this person because of what people will say. But the results told, it spoke volume. The volume was high. It went up. Some people are happy, some aren't. And that's just how the cookie crumbled. But that would have been expected either way. Either way, that would have been expected, that some would have been happy, some aren't. One of the things, as I said in a former post, or earlier post, is that one thing Donald Trump epitomizes is faith, persistence, and determination. Because he has been accused of all manner of evil. All things. Some perhaps true, some perhaps false. I don't know him. I can't say. There's nothing that I have. I've never met him. Right? But he has defied all odds. The man has defied. First of all, he's not an authentic, what you would call a politician. He's a businessman. So that's why people are offended by his outbursts and so on. He's not an original politician that knows how to be diplomatic. He just knows how to be himself. Plain and straight as an elderly man. And he has won the hearts of many. Whether you like it or not, the results showed it. But yet when you watch media, you figured, oh, it was the other incumbent. It wasn't her. So it tells a story. Not what you see is what you get. Not what is promulgated is what is. People have their personal preferences, but because of the backlash or how people behave, they don't. They say, all right, me can't get for talk my mind and say, is he my support? I go and vote for him though. You understand? Because it's personal and it is private. It is what it is. Vex, please or not. But congratulations are in order. Congratulations to the other incumbent. Well tried, but didn't come through. So it is life. and we move on, we press on. Guys, you know what to do. Read TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe to my station and give me a lion